Every time somebody leaves a 1-2-7, I actually look at the camera and smile. What's the best place you've ever read at? And you've hit the nail on the head there. I think the Winter Gardens at Blackpool is the best place that I've ever refereed at. When the actual ninth dart goes in on a 9-darter, it puts an odd feeling that goes through you. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Every minute that I've stepped up on that stage.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Tungsten Talk, where we are looking at the most iconic moments of the legendary Paul Hinks' career. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Paul Hinks himself. Paul, how are we doing?
I'm very well, thanks, Jack. Thank you for inviting me up here tonight for this talk.
Well, it's about time they got us off that stage, isn't it, Paul, and up in this studio to have a bit of a chat?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Oh, we've had a long afternoon today, but it's nice to get up here and have a chat with you, Jack.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to discuss some of the more iconic moments of your career throughout this chat. We can go wherever you like, really, but one of the suggestions that I've been given first off is how you got involved in darts. We'll just go over that a little bit more.
Well, it was strange, actually. When I was at school, when I was about 17, we always used to go to a pub called Barnsley Oak. It's in South Hempstead, which is in Yorkshire, Pontefract way. And I saw 3 men playing darts, which I now know, on a board, and they asked me if I'd wanted to get up and make a forehand up. I said, well, I don't know what to do. So they advised me, and that's when I first started playing darts, and that was a lot of years ago, and this is where we are today.
Yeah, indeed. How do you get into reffing from playing darts? Because obviously everyone's journey is different. I've spoken to Owen Binks in the past, who from day one wanted to be a referee. Obviously, I'm a failed darts player like yourself, and then we end up as officials. How did you become a referee?
I used to play in local leagues, and understandably, most people, when they're playing darts in a league match, are getting up and marking, or actually calling scores. And one day there were, I think the BDO, a match on television, and one of the lads said to me, why don't you do that? You're as good as them what we're watching now, like. So I thought about it, and I thought, well, yeah, I'll see what I can do. And at the time, in county in Yorkshire, they were doing inner counties, which were North, South, East and West Yorkshire. So I contacted Yorkshire Darts, and they got me involved in doing the inner counties. And from there I progressed to doing Yorkshire B matches, and then on to doing the Yorkshire A matches. To this day I still actually call for my county, because that's my grassroots, that's where it all started. And I've always stuck by my guns and said, if I can help them out in any way, then I will, and that's what I do.
Still nice to get the reps in as well, isn't it? I've called for a number of counties over the last couple of years, and actually seeing that side of the game is something that I still take great pride in. Yeah,
when you go and call for county, you see a lot of players that's actually coming through, and some do actually go forward and make a career of it. You've only got to look at my good friend Dennis Priestley. He started with county. I started doing exhibitions with him, and he goes on to win 2 world titles. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of people actually come through from county and progress and make a career out of playing darts.
Was it that connection with Dennis that led you to make your PDC debut in 2004?
Strange, I did exhibitions works with Dennis, and at that time I did that the PDC were looking for a 4th referee at that time to link up with the legendary Fred Williams, legendary Bruce Spenley, and also the legendary Russ Bray. And I did that. They looked at 1 or 2, and then I went out to California to do some exhibition work with Dennis prior to moving on to Las Vegas for the Desert Classic. And Dennis said, would I consider actually going for 4th referee's job, because he said at the time he thought I was good as, if not better than those that were there, which I find hard to believe, because the 3 great referees that if I got the job I were going to be working with. Anyway, I agreed to it, and Tommy Cox, who was the Pro Tour manager then, he said, yeah, well, listen to me in Blackpool. So thinking I'd go into a pub in Blackpool for him to listen to me, and Tommy said, no. He says, you'll go straight on live television at the Will Match Play. And I did. I went on, and the match I got was Dennis Smith against Steve Brown from America, which Dennis won 10-1. they liked what they heard. They contacted me, and from that, they took me on board as that fourth referee, which I was lucky enough to be in that position at that time.
What's it like being thrown in the deep end like that, instantly thinking, like you said, you're going to referee in a pub and have a bit of a trial, and all of a sudden you're reffing on Sky TV in a PDC major in one of the most iconic venues that darts has ever seen? That must be pretty daunting at the time.
Yeah. People ask me, what's the best place you've ever refereed at? And you've hit the nail on the head there. I think the Winter Gardens at Blackpool is the best place that I've ever refereed at. It's because of the place itself. It's just historic. Regarding what was it like, understandably, you're up on there and the people are actually watching you, the crowd. Very nervous at the time. I would say for quite a few months after I got taken on by the PDC, I was nervous when I actually went out on stage, but it's something that you get used to, and gradually the nerves they go. But I like the nerves being there, but nowadays I don't get nerves at all.
You beat me to that then. I was going to say, are the nerves still there? Because they're still not necessarily day to day and game to game in the volume that we do here, but actually there's the odd moment where you think, this is big, this is going to be like a Champions Night, for instance, or as a 9-darters going in. Do you still get a little bit nervous and feel some emotion towards those?
Yeah, you do. Regarding 9-darters, when the second, say, 180's gone in, you're thinking, oh, might have a 9-darter I'm going to call. And when the 7th one goes in, you're, ooh, and the 8th, and then when the actual 9th dart goes in on a 9-darter, it is, it puts like an hot feeling that goes through you. You smile yourself, but then again, you've got to still remain professional and call the game, because it's for the crowd, and the two players that's actually on stage, it's a great moment for them both. Well, it is for me, like when I call one, so yeah.
Yeah, that dart number 7 is the one for me. We've seen enough back-to-backs these days, but actually, when that 7th one goes in, you think, this has got a chance, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We need to talk about some of your more iconic moments then. So, 9-darters is a nice little segue. Let's talk about 2014, Kyle Anderson at the World Championship, the late, great Kyle Anderson, a good friend of mine. Yeah. That must have more meaning to you now that we know what's tragically happened to Kyle in the last few years.
Yeah, I'm a very good friend of Kyle. I love the way he played. He got on the hockey and he got on with the game. I think he played, was it Ian White?
Ian White, yeah.
I can remember that one like it was yesterday. It was great because his brother were actually in the audience as well. And when his double went in, he ran over to his brother, who was just short of the stage at the Ali Pally. And I actually called another Kyle Anderson against Michael Van Gerwen. I think that was a European event.
Yeah, European Championships.
But yeah, you're a great lad with Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I've got some inside information on that now. It used to be a housemate of mine. He actually told me that dart slipped for the double 12.
Did it?
Yeah. It wasn't meant to go in the way that it did. It came out of his hand a bit of a funny one, but history was made that day. That was also the same day that Terry Jenkins hit a 9, didn't he? And went halfway home thinking he's got some prize money in the bag, and Kyle snatches half of it from him later that afternoon. Other notable ones on the list, Gary Anderson, 2016 against Jelle Klassen.
Semi-final.
One of the best performances of all time from Gary, that one as well. Absolute demolition job, wasn't it?
6-0 one, I believe, yeah. Yeah, I can remember that one as well, yeah.
That 9-darter was at the end of a ridiculous set as well, 120 average or something in the set. Also on the list, Thornton and Wade in the same game at the Grand Prix. That's got to be special, hasn't it? Double start and to get 2 in the same game. And we've only had 3 double start 9-darters in all time anyway. Yeah.
People ask me which is the best 9-darter I've called. It's got to be that. It's got to be that one, because to actually start on a double and finish on a double, like them, both of them did, but not only that, in the same match against one another, that is special, really special, that one.
Yeah, and then we have to talk about the infamous Paul Hinks call itself, the 1-2-7 and game. Like, how does that come about? And is it one of those moments where you look back on fondly or with a smile on your face, or is it one of those that just follows you around and is a little bit annoying these days?
I remember it like it was yesterday. That Michael just took me by surprise, and a lot of people come up nowadays and said, "That day you got that score wrong." I said, "What score was that?" They said, "That 127." I said, I didn't get it wrong. I just turned it the other way around. So rather than saying game shortest, I was at 127 in game, so I just turned it round. And apparently, I've heard on the grapevine that most of the commentators actually use it in the box, and it is a big thing nowadays, the 127 in game. And when I'm on stage nowadays, people have mentioned it to me. Every time somebody leaves a 127, I actually look at the camera and smile, which I believe I actually do, yeah.
I mean, I have noticed it. There's been times where I thought, I want to do something similar, but it's your call now, isn't it? The 127, like, that is something that's going to be ingrained, well, has been ingrained in darting history for a long time, and it's likely to stick around for a long time as well. Yeah. Does leaving your mark on the game like that and having a shot named after yourself fill you a bit of pride?
Yes, I suppose it does, really. I can remember Michael turning around to Phil and going with his arms like that, and Phil going, what's going off? Because I believe it was a game before the break, and we actually came off stage after that particular checkout.
Yeah, well, great to hear from Paul Hinks so far. We'll be back after this short break with more iconic moments from the legend's career itself. Welcome back to this very special edition of the Tungsten Talk, where we are discussing the most iconic moments from the legendary darts referee's career. That is Mr. Paul Hinks. Paul, before the break, we discussed some iconic moments of 9 darters, your 127 and game call, but now we're going to look at some of your more comedic moments, shall we say, from here at the Super Series and the World Seniors.
Okay.
Game on! Oh, another selfie.
134.
Say cheese.
Dadayuka 59.
Not on this occasion, and we again are going into extra legs.
7 legs all. It has to be won by 2 clear legs. So the match gets to 10 legs all. The 21st leg will be a sudden death game. 15th leg, Kevin, you through first. Game on. Richard, sorry.
Play. Richard, you require 242. 3 darts at double, usually only one outcome. And that's it, Andreas. That's in, Paul.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Andreas Harrison.
Comedy moment between the pair of them.
WK 127.
Paul Hinks even gave us a little look into the camera there.
I have to say, I'm enjoying everybody being friendly in the chat room today. It's really appreciated.
180.
Well, a look at the watch from Max de Jong. That was a little bit cheeky, wasn't it?
Well, this is far from toilet.
100.
It is Hinksy. There's definitely going to be a smile from Hinksy, isn't there, right now?
140. Ariuka 127.
You could say that Darren Armstrong's a more Johnny Clayton style player because he's from the south.
180.
Oh, look at that.
It's been a case of ups and downs for Steph Clark. She lost every single game on Monday, but has recovered well here in her second group.
We feel he could be an outsider in this group, and he's certainly finding plenty more scoring power. That's 2 180s. Yes, you beauty!
Can we please just have your appreciation for this man here, Paul Hinks, who has refereed every single game of this tournament in a suit. 52 degrees it's been up here. Paul, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. I think is the way to finish that one, Paul. Some really great moments there from your career. I am going to start with Yeovil because I was there working as part of the team that weekend as well. Charlie Corstafine had moved on to the PDC, so he wasn't allowed to referee for the seniors anymore, and it was baking up there that weekend. How you got through that weekend in a suit, I have absolutely no idea. It must have taken something out of you.
Yeah, dude. I've always been professional because I like wearing suits when I'm on stage. So I think it looks more professional. I know nowadays, we wear shirts, which it's by the by nowadays. But I always like wearing a suit. And I always did that with the World Seniors, and hopefully still do today. But that particular weekend, it was.
Middle of the summer in over, wasn't it? Same weekend as Glastonbury, so it was just scorching all over the place.
Yeah, I wore 4 suits for that tournament, and I had to have them all dry clean when I got home because they were absolutely saturated. It was that hot.
Have you enjoyed your time with the World Seniors as a whole? Because it's been a chance to reminisce about some players that perhaps were around at the start of your career that we don't get to see as much anymore. A lot of the talk from the players that have played on the tour in particular has spoken about how it's been great to rekindle old relationships and friendships as part of that. We have seen some great moments up on the stage, and you've been there for pretty much all of them.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, yeah. From starting with PDC, moving on to the World Seniors, which Jason Tame contacted me and told me we were going to get it up and would I like to come along and work on it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Every minute that I've stepped up on that stage with, like you say, people who I've actually worked on the PDC circuit with and other players as well. But the joy of actually getting up there and calling matches, because they're still as good. I know like the class of seniors nowadays, but they actually are still good at what they actually do. And it's nice to get up there and be able to actually call it for people that I've called when they were younger in life, and now they're moving on. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, long may that continue. I am going to stick up for you a little bit here in the referees union, a bit like the goalkeepers union. A couple of those clips made a bit of fun of not being able to see a couple of darts or something, but it is quite tough up there. Some of the darts, like Stephen Johnston's 180 was one of them. They're incredibly difficult darts to see, aren't they? And sometimes you just need that extra moment to make sure you've got the score right.
Yeah, I would say when you actually stood up there on this MODUS Super Series stage, the worst double a referee can actually look at for people getting that is double 10 and double 12, because one's close up and the other one's, well, far away. And most what you see when I'm up there with double 10, you can't actually see. If somebody covers it and then puts the dart over it, which might be in, I've always been, I don't like moving because I don't want to put the player off. I don't know if you're the same on that, Jack. But I want to make sure before I actually do call the game. I noticed a 180 on there, which Fallon shot it in, and the board were really cut up. So you can't see
Simon Whitlock points on her darts at that point, I think.
Probably, yeah. But it's, as a referee, in the back of your mind, you want to be 100% sure before you actually call what the actual score is.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Double 10's a nightmare for me. Double 12. Double 14 isn't great for me either. I find 14 is a little bit difficult. But Owen, who we shared a stage with, has said the same as well.
Yeah.
It's not bad when the last dart is the one you can move on, is it? But if it's one blocker and then it might be on inside on dart 2, like you said, you don't want to move and put the player off. A couple more on the Super Series before we let you go as a whole. 2 9 darters to your name, Conor Heenan and Jared Cole. Do they still give you the same buzz despite the fact that they were both behind closed doors, if you like?
I've actually got 3.
Have you got 3?
Danny Vansup.
Oh, they didn't add it to the clip, did they?
Yeah, that was up at Southampton when they had it up there. Yeah, it still gives you a buzz, yeah. It's just another one to add to the collection. But I like Jared Cole's one. I've got to give him a mention because he's part of the team here. Because he also got a 160 checkout while I were here, which I called. And that is the best 160 checkout I have ever called. When he hit the treble 20 and the dart moved over and covered the complete treble 20. So he was left with 100 and he went bull, bull. And that for me is the best 160 checkout I have ever called in my career.
Well, there you have it. Jared Cole with a 160, the best checkout Paul Hinks has ever called in his career. And I think, Paul, that is the perfect way to wrap up our Tungsten Talk. It's been a privilege talking about some of the most iconic moments from your career. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again soon here on the Tungsten Talk.
Game on!
Oh, another selfie.
134.
Say cheese.
Daddy 59.
Not on this occasion, and we again
Ladies and
going
gentlemen,
into
the match
extra
is now
legs.
in 7 legs all. It has to be won by 2 clear legs. So the match gets to 10 legs all. The 21st leg will be a sudden death game. 15th leg, Kevin, you're through first. Game on. Richard, sorry.
Contemplate. Playing up. Richard, you require 242.
3 darts at double. Usually only one outcome. And that's it, Andreas. That's in, Paul.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Andreas
Comedy
Harrison.
moment between the pair of them.
WK
Scene regularity.
127.
Paul Hinks even gave us a little look into the camera there.
I have to say, I'm enjoying everybody being friendly in the chat room today. It's really appreciated.
180.
Well, a look at the watch from Max de Jong. That was a little bit cheeky, wasn't it?
Well, this is far from toilet.
180.
It is, Hinksy. There's definitely going to be a smile from Hinksy, isn't there, right now?
140. Adiuka 127.
You could say that Darren Armstrong's a more Johnny Clayton style player because he's from the south.
180.
Oh, look at that.
It's been a case of ups and downs for Steph Clark. She lost every single game on Monday, but has recovered well here in her second group.
We feel he could be an outsider in this group, and he's certainly finding plenty more scoring power. That's 2 180s. Yes, you beauty!
Can we
Winning
please just have
6-2.
your appreciation for this man here, Paul Hinks, who has refereed every single game of this tournament in a suit. 52 degrees it's been up here. Paul, thank you. Thank you.